Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm riding this. This is the BMW S1000RR and oh my goodness, this bike doesn't look great anymore yaar. मतलब very powerful but the design is kind of bad because look at the front, it kind of reminds you of those bikes which BMW makes with TVS, the fake BMWs. Of course I'm talking about the G310 series because it does not have the asymmetrical lights anymore and this doesn't really stand out. But anyways, these are bifunction LEDs, projectors, because they also function with the high beam in the same light. That's kind of nice. You get LED here, you get LED here. It says BMW LED there, of course. This is actually for the ram air intake. Yes, it pushes air from here right to the airbox to obviously make this bike scream with better breathing, of course. Now this motorcycle has got winglets which are actually standard across the range. Yes, this kind of looks super duper cool because this is actually the M Sport. It's available in 3 variants. All the 3 variants get those winglets, of course. And the tires on this bike are not that great because these are Dunlops. However, the wheels will blow your mind because these are carbon wheels, not alloys. These are carbon. It's kind of crazy. 120/70/17 is the size of the tires. Marzocchi, I can't even pronounce that. Upside down fork. Says BMW motor right there. M badging also. There's the sensor position. 320mm dual discs at the front. Nissan brake calipers. M written right here as well. And if you notice, the condition of the radiator is quite bad. Yeah, dual radiators, steel braided lines, golden colored forks. BMW logo right here. Says S1000. The color scheme and all is super duper awesome, but this being the M Sport actually has some M Sport specific bits. Remember one thing, M Sport is not the full M. There's the M1000RR which is track specific. There's no ground clearance. This bike has absolutely no ground clearance. Meanwhile, the seat height is 824mm, which is not really suited to shorter riders. 16.5 liter fuel tank which goes down like this because obviously this bike drinks a lot of fuel. So you get this M seat which is really very stiff. Pillion is not welcome at all. Firstly, the peg position is so high for the pillion, plus there is no space. And what do you hold on to? The person who's riding the bike, of course. Here you have the S1000RR badging, multiple M colors here and there. In fact, that is the chassis number and it says 01 of 23. Oh my god, this has heated up like quite a lot right now, and that is the engine, the heart of the matter. You can see it, it's very loud somehow. Coming to the rear, obviously M carbon wheels which look fantastic. 220mm disc at the rear which is chintu mintu because all the braking happens at the front only here, and the exhaust is also upswept. If you notice one thing, it says M carbon. 255/17 is the size of the rear tire which is massive, but this bike does not get any sort of sari guard only. You can adjust the chain from here. Obviously adjustable suspension. Now this is a link type monoshock suspension. Yeah, that is the linkage. There's the gas canister. This is the rear master cylinder for the rear brakes, of course. And this is a carbon plate for your heel to support yourself. And this thing is actually race specific. So it's made of aluminium, really nice quality. Says BMW Motorrad here. And it is very much adjustable, so you can adjust it. You obviously need a screw to do that, but that can be done too. Now this seems like a trellis frame, that seems like a perimeter frame, so it's like a dual mix of frames. But there is no brake light because this acts as the brake light, the indicator. I mean, that functions for both the things. Meanwhile, there's an indicator on the outside rear view mirror as well. Oh my goodness, they've given a reflector here. Why would they do that? Just because they can. The bike doesn't really look that attractive. It somehow looks small. So I'm not really impressed with the design of the motorcycle, considering the older one really looked nice. The one with the asymmetrical headlights. And of course, seat height is not suited for short riders, but such a stiff seat. Here you can see that all this is definitely lighter in weight. I mean, the reduction in weight is by 4 kgs thanks to these carbon wheels and obviously all these materials as well. There's so much heat coming out. It's absolutely crazy. Like I can actually make an egg right now. Some exposed bits because yeah, they could not conceive that somehow, or maybe for weight saving they did not really want to. Let's get ride this motorcycle. It has a steering damper, but you know what? It's hidden below and that is the assister for the same. Meanwhile, clip-on bars which are really like low set, so you have to like hang on for dear life because the riding position is very aggressive. Preload adjustment is actually manually done. This is the front brake master cylinder. This is for heated grips. This is for the ride mode, and this is the engine start stop button, the kill switch and all, which also functions for the launch control. Adjustable levers, of course, on both the sides. That is, oh, it's not too bad, the clutch. Meanwhile, this is the screen. Let me turn off the motorcycle. Okay, now it sounds so silent. I mean, it doesn't sound at all. When I turn it on, it shows me this sort of a logo. And now, let me turn on the motorcycle. Yes, it rose to life. So, using this button, I can browse through the menu on the top. Fuel meter, distance to empty, total kilometers, trip 1, trip 2. It also tells you what's the fuel efficiency. Don't even look at that. Fuel efficiency is really poor. clock, timing and all that. So lot of things are there in this cluster and easy to use somehow, because this one is super duper easy to use. It even, okay, when I press the down button, I can get into this menu and then use this joystick to browse through a lot of information. So you can connect your phone using Bluetooth and then you can navigate, and then you can obviously even get into various other things. So I press this down button to get into my vehicle. It shows me a lot of information. Yeah, their onboard computer, lot of data, and I can reset all this individually as well. So service requests, service appointments and all, tire pressure monitor is obviously given. So if I decide, okay, chalo, let me reset it, I can reset all values, or I can even reset individual values. So when I do that, I can decide what I want to reset. There's just too much attention to detail for no reason at all. But yeah, this is quite easy to use. It's not that bad as I thought it would be. So let me get out of this menu, which is, I don't know how to get out. I press this up button. Then let's get into the sport thing. And if you notice here, I can change the cluster. So this is the traction control system. This tells me how much brake I'm applying. This is the angle sensor for the lean, and obviously gets a different tachometer too. Let me get out of this menu, which means that I press this up button, and let's just get into the settings part of things, because there's so much you can do. You can get into assist, and then you can decide how you want the damping to be. Oh my goodness, I'm not finding this easy at all. It's so slow. Then you have to actually use this to browse through a lot of stuff, change the brightness, change a lot of things. So it's customizable to the moon and back, because you can obviously get into vehicle settings, change a lot of stuff there too. Come on. Yeah, the riding modes, you can even configure them. So there are 3 ways to configure the riding modes. Everything can be configured, so it's an information overkill. But let's get to these particular buttons right here. So this is obviously to go up and down in a menu, and this I obviously told you, indicator, the horn, okay, it's loud. And this is for the cruise control, hazard light, and this is for the traction control, which I think only works in race mode. Let's turn off the motorcycle. It's so loud, it's so loud. What do I tell you how loud it is? The key is a bit ordinary for a motorcycle which is this expensive. Yeah, rupees 29 lakhs is the price of this motorcycle. Let's start riding right away. Okay, that time has come to turn on the motorcycle and time to ride it. I am quite scared honestly, because okay, engine not started, clutch not actuated, and we straight away come into, it's already in first gear, and off we are. Now I'm in road mode right now, because I obviously feel very scared riding such a powerful motorcycle, because there's just way too much power for the roads. You don't need this much power, but BMW like, why not, we can. So let me quickly give you a history of this motorcycle. In the 2000s, BMW wanted to participate in the World Superbike Championship, so they made a motorcycle like the S1000, and then they decided that, you know, let's just participate in the championship, let's not sell it. But homologation requirement states that you have to sell at least 1000 units to the public to participate. So they started selling it. They sold 1000 units, and the bike was so good that they decided, let's keep selling it only. And since the time this motorcycle is launched, it has been the best super bike in the world every possible year. I was going to say every year, but then I realized kids will be watching it. But kids, my excitement will not be able to contain itself when I absolutely launch this motorcycle. So now it's very easy to ride this motorcycle in road mode, because obviously power is cut down. But here in third gear also, look at the level of performance. Okay, peg position is weird. Pegs are rear set. Obviously I'm not able to touch the lever. The brake lever is kind of weird as well, and the brakes are super strong, man, super strong brakes. And obviously I'm sitting on a very weird position. I'm sitting like this, leaning down, and oh my god, this is on road mode right now, which has the best suspension I believe, yet it is very stiff. In dynamic mode or in race mode now, your are going to crack, because the suspension becomes that level stiff. So yeah, this motorcycle is just not meant for the road, it is meant for the track. But then it's a S1000RR, not an M1000, because the M1000 is only restricted for the track. This bike is absolutely bonkers, because it's very powerful. The price range starts at around 24 lakhs for the base variant. I don't think base and S1000 go hand in hand. And for the top variant, which is the M Sport, you're going to pay almost 29 lakh rupees. In fact, the registration cost is as much as a KTM Duke 250. So that is expensive. Riding in the city, not a problem at all, because when you ride it at low revs, it doesn't heat that much, but it does heat quite a lot, and then the heat can be felt everywhere. So it's a very hot engine, because it's producing so much power and torque. Filtering and all can be difficult. Mirrors are like weird, you can't really see what's around you. But I'm very uncomfortable right now. My hands, my arm, everything is like in a very awkward position. Please move, Ignis. What are you doing, Ignis, dude? Enough of this BS. Let's start riding it like how it's meant to be ridden. Right now in third gear only, filtering through traffic, not an issue at all.
I am not even extracting 20% from this motorcycle, and this is the level of madness it is giving me. So just imagine when I get into the more mode, like the faster mode, what's going to happen. I can't believe that I'm riding a BMW F1000RR, one of my absolute favorite motorcycles, but I don't like this motorcycle because it does not have the asymmetrical headlights, period, end of story. You cannot remove the iconic design of an iconic motorcycle like that. Sorry BMW. And talking about BMW, there's a BMW right in front of me. For the price of a new 5 Series, you can get 3 of these. Oh my god, performance and brakes are so stupendous. This motorcycle has amazing handling. The handlebar is not difficult. I mean, it is stiff, but the bike actually tips everywhere you want it to. So it's very smooth, very refined, very accommodating. At least in road mode it seems that way. But now it's time to actually change it into dynamic mode. The gearbox is super slick shifting, the clutch is super duper heavy, and you can get neutral in no time at all. So we are going to switch the modes right now. I'm going to get into dynamic mode. Come on, bring me. Oh, now we are in dynamic mode. It has launch control, which we'll use later. Right now I'm going to try my level best to take you to the red line, which means I mean throttle slowly but surely, and off we go. Are you ready, guys? Are you ready? See, slowly 6,000 rpm, 8,000 rpm. Low end isn't good, mid range is nice, top end is absolutely fantastic. Vibes are already kicking in at around 8,000 rpm, and first gear 153. I think it does even more. I chickened out at 13,000 rpm. So 998cc inline 4-cylinder engine produces 210 horsepower, and there's a 3 horsepower increase here, and this peak power actually comes in at 13,750 rpm. So yes, it's very high revving, and peak power also very high up in the road. Oh my god, 156 in first gear. I'm just going to ride it first gear today. I don't have the guts or the anything else to ride it in any other gear, because the performance is absolutely nutcase here. What a machine. But let's turn on the launch control. I keep this button pressed. 3 launches available, and it restricts a red line to 9,000 rpm to launch, and off we go. Holy moly, I can't put that power down. I'm sorry. Every time I go into the throttle, I think I'm going to fall off the motorcycle. Wow, second gear. Holy moly. Oh my god, oh my goodness, this is way too much. I felt that I'm going to fly. I thought I'm going to just fly out of the motorcycle. This is just way too powerful. It's insane. The performance is mind-blowing. Torque output 113 Newton meters, which isn't much, but it comes at 11,000 rpm, which is very higher up of the rev range. So this bike has almost everything in terms of electronics. It's got wheelie control. I don't think you can turn off wheelie control. It's got traction control, obviously, with multiple levels. It's got multiple ABS levels as well, and it restricts the ABS level in a lower setting. I mean, in the race mode. The Scorpio guy, I don't know what he's up to, but I think he's checking something on his car. Something is broke or what, never mind. So yeah, in race mode now, the ABS level actually reduces at the rear, of course, and already we are down on range. This has a 16.5 liter fuel tank capacity, but the mileage is like 11 kilometers per liter, or probably even worse. I don't think it's a good idea to get into race, because I simply cannot put that power down. I'm so scared today. You have no freaking idea. So we're going to get into launch yet again, but before that, let me show you one more time redlining this beast. What a quick shifter. What, everything works so beautifully well. But this is a motorcycle you need to steal to ride, because the front end is lifting all the time. Brakes are super duper awesome. What amazing brakes. What an amazing motorcycle, but way too powerful for the road. Absolutely insane performance, which actually makes me want to change this mode, which we'll do by actually getting into race mode. So here we are, race mode. Activate this. Come on. Warning ABS settings. So ABS actually reduces in this mode. Get into the menu function here, browsing through here. Yeah, on the move I'm able to do it, which is very impressive. I changed the cluster mode here. Now it's telling me what is the brake which I'm applying, what is the traction control level. So quick shifter, traction control, ABS, and everything, you name it, it has everything possible. But because of the mirrors, I cannot filter through traffic, because this, look at this. Okay, this is how it touches it. Very difficult to move around here, and everybody is getting so excited looking at a BMW motorcycle. Everybody got up also. Everybody became awake. Not a motorcycle to ride on the street for sure. I think the S1000R would be a lot better here. Do you like this particular instrument cluster? I'm out of words. This is not a bike. This is a bike which will break your, I mean, parts of your body even before you fall, because of the absolute stiffness to the ride. It has got electronic suspension, so this is manual preload adjustment. Otherwise everything is electronics. Depending on the setting, you can change that as well. This is bonkers, a motorcycle. So now we are going to launch again. Hazard lights on, showing the lean angle. Do you notice this? 14-degree max, how much ever you are doing. Okay, let's activate launch control. There we have 3 starts available, which is a good thing. Red line is obviously limited. Hazard lights off. Revving the motor. What a bike, what an insane machine, insane performance, insane brakes, absolutely top level motorcycle, but not for the road. It's just way too powerful, way too stiff, way too uncomfortable, lot of tech. But then sometimes the tech also goes haywire, because even though this is a BMW motorcycle, it was saying there's some issue with the engine. So yes, things could be a little bit better here, but it heats a lot. My thighs are getting roasted at the moment, and the riding position is nothing short of because it's so difficult to ride this motorcycle. Very, very, very uncomfortable a machine, but yes, a very desirable one. It's about showing off, you know, I have 210 horsepower. How much can you use? Maybe 10. Ooh. It sounds quite rough lower down. And then the rivals are obviously the ZX-10R, which is priced at around 19.5 lakhs, and then there's a Panigale V4, which is costing upwards of rupees 30 lakhs. So the BMW actually feels quite attractively priced in comparison. Taking a U-turn is a pain, obviously. First gear is very aggressive, gives you the best engine braking as well. What an engine, what a bike, so freaking loud, so freaking aggressive. But there's some vibes. You can see the mirrors are vibrating a bit, so not the smoothest in that regard for an inline 4-cylinder engine. It doesn't have the smoothness of a Japanese 4-cylinder engine. Oh, it just wants to gallop ahead, overtake every car by jumping over them, because that is the kind of performance. Unbelievable, unbelievable, unfreaking believable. I'm shit scared riding this. I don't know, I've never been so scared even driving a very powerful car. Even though this is not very fast, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes 3.1 seconds. 3.1 seconds to 100 is not fast. You know why? Because it cannot put all that power down. Launching and all is difficult now, obviously, because you have the tendency of slipping or Gulati marna ho jata hai. And this bike doesn't have the best tires as such. Brakes are very good. It goes from 0 to 200 kilometers per hour in just 7.87 seconds. Meanwhile, 0 to 300 kilometers per hour comes really quick in just 19.1 seconds and a top speed of 303 kilometers per hour, which makes it brutally quick. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy quick. But this doesn't have usable power. There's an old saying, it's better to ride a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow, because let's be honest, I am not able to just use the performance of this bike. Give me a KTM Duke 390, I would be way faster, because at least I have control. Here I don't have control. The engine is singing a different song, the chassis and all is super balanced, everything is very nicely done, but it's just not freaking usable. It's very difficult. Bhai, tu kar kya raha hai? Okay, launch control activated, and honestly, the front end is all over the place. That's the kind of performance. Multiple ride modes. There is rain, which is the sissy mode. There is road, which is a good balance of almost everything. There's dynamic, which is fast. There's race, which is unbelievably stiff. And then you can configure Race Pro 1, Race Pro 2, and all that as well. So guys, oh my goodness, if you like this vlog, make sure to give the thumbs up. And sorry for being such a sissy. I can't ride this motorcycle. It's just out of control, although it's very good dynamically, but you need a racetrack to really extract the best out on the road because of the poor surface. I mean, not the poor surface, but the weird surface. It continuously bobs here and there, and before you blink, you have reached, I mean, maybe Mars or Pluto or Jupiter or something of that sort, because that is the kind of performance this motorcycle has to offer. Bye.